Hello. I think I figured this out. Thank goodness for that. I was having some kind of problems. I think Shadowplay was interfering with it. I had to turn it off. Okay, so nines is cool. So mechanics. I want to talk about nines as mechanics. Now, when I talk about mechanics, I want to make it clear that I'm not talking about any skills equipped at all. So I don't have anything equipped to any of my stuff. So when I've been sorry. When I've been doing my combo video, I've been not using any skills equipped. Now, nines has a single button combat for everything, right? So at first glance, you seem like all you can do is this, but what you can he actually still has his heavy attacks, and what you do is you do that by either delaying. This is his heavy attack for his spear, or you do it by dashing, and then during the dash animation, you press the attack. It has to be during the animation. Like he has the animation here, right? You have to press the attack during it. It can't be after it's over. See how he goes to the running animation here? So he's running. It has to be during it. If you do it while he's running, he does this instead, right? Which is still a good move, but it's very, you need to be, in order to understand nines, you need to be very clear about the difference between pressing it during the dash, sorry, evade, pressing it during evade. I call evade dash so just so you all know, I can't seem to get that out of my head. Pressing it during the evade, or pressing it during any other time, right? And the reason why you need to know this is that how to explain this the best? Okay, so let's get the spear, right? We've got the heavy moves with the spear. So you dash and you press it once, right? Now once you pressed it, you can keep going. I'm just pressing light attack here and it continues on by itself, right? So if I do the first two hits of his normal combo and then do an evade light attack, which by that I mean I press evade and press light attack during it, he ends up coming out with the third hit of his heavy string. So in this way, he can use his normal string to offset, to save where he is in his heavy string. So his strings are connected. Now, when it comes to doing offset, offset is where you save where you are in the combo when you dodge. Just so everyone's clear on what that is. So let's say you're doing as you can see, I'm dodging in between all of these hits and it's saving where I am, right? So you can do it that way. You don't need to do it any other way. So this is useful to know so that you know that the first two hits of his normal strings can turn into this. So this automatically makes things a little more interesting. Instead of just going doing his basic light dash, instead you can press light attack, dash light attack, and you get that, right? And since you can cancel any move, you can actually technically go light attack and then immediately get that out. So you cancel the second hit. So I'm cancelling the second hit of his light attack string straight into the move I want, right? It's an important thing to know. Now, the other thing you need to know is that when you weapon switch with him, you can do his dash attack, his evade heavy, if you swap and then immediately press light attack during the evade. See, so that was the sorry, hang on. This is the first strike of the spear evade, right? So this is the first strike of the longsword heavy. This is the second strike of the longsword heavy. This is the third strike of the longsword heavy. This is a really good move for when you're surrounded by crowds, because this has huge range. Bam, huge. So let's get a little enemy in here. I can show you. So I'm level 81. So I'll spawn a default a level 81 enemy. So we'll have a couple of those. Oh shit, wrong one. So that'll hit all of them. So that's pretty good. Oh, I should probably make them attack. Yeah, make them not be nubs. Come on, guys. Hello. So I don't even have to care about their attacks. Like, who cares what they're doing? They can't come near me because I'm smacking them with my heavy sword. So this is similar to 2B's version where she can do this as well. But he's got more range on his. As you can see, it's just stupid how much range he has on this move. With the spear, it's more of an up-close version. If you're right next to them, it'll hit a couple of times. It'll hit several times. So, but let's get some more dudes out. But so the basic strikes of the spear don't seem that impressive, but it's got pretty good range. I prefer this though. Whee. A thing to notice about this strike, this sprinting attack I'm doing here, is that it continues on. See how it went through all of them? It's basically he throws the spear, so it'll hit anything in the way, basically. So he doesn't really need to worry about getting close to enemies in order to hit them. He can do everything at quite long range. This is even more noticeable when you're using small swords, because he's got really good. This isn't even without that ability to shockwave or whatever it is. This is without even shockwave equipped. He can do this stuff. So I'll equip his cruel stuff. He's a cruel lad, this guy. Very cruel. Right, now the heavy attack for short sword, he throws them out. And then he can hit them at that range. Now if you're using the impact weapons, which do damage, the impact weapons are see the one where it says finish blast, right? Detonates the final hit of close range combo. It says at the bottom there on the left. Right. This works with his heavy combos. So if I equip this, it's a slower weapon. But if I equip this and then do the last hit, it does a explosion. Now, before I said when you're using 9S, he's actually significantly more effective if you use cancels, if you use his SD cancel. So I actually have it equipped to square for my I have for when I play 9S. So it's on square here. And the reason why is that I can go and then repeatedly do that, the last hit of that combo, just by cancelling the first two hits really quickly. So basically he's a destruction monster, bastard, murderer of everything, and he doesn't need to use hacking to do that. And the starting at hits of, you'd think that because he's raged, doing it up close would be disadvantageous, but that's not actually true. When he's the first hits of these, the first hits of the third hit does a lot up close, and it can actually be used at point blank. And if you SD cancel, the second hit has a hit where he throws it out, and that move can also. See, I'm suddenly smacking them out of nowhere because he's throwing it out there. Like, watch his sword. He brings it back, and then he chuck. This happens when I SD cancel. See how he chucks it out? And you can also do it by doing a normal light slash and then just doing a dash heavy. Or you can do it by going. So yeah, he can be pretty devastating with the right weapons and the right equipment. The other thing you should know is that his light, when he's got a short sword, his light counter can be cancelled at any point. So you can cancel into another one, which is hard because they don't attack enough really. There you go. So if you're fighting an enemy that has a multi-hit and you haven't been able to stop it with your light, you can, you can attack again. So his hair combos are still pretty good, but he's got a lot of range naturally for all of his movements, and you can use this in a deliberate way to control the battlefield around you. So that is something that I noticed about him, that he's got a lot of flexibility when it comes to using all of these moves. Another thing that I think is just amazing that they included this, like that just works this way, is the heavy attack for his for his braces, right? Now, when I first used braces, I thought these weapons are crap because, like, what the hell is with all this? This looks so silly compared to what 2B does. And I mean, it's kind of grown on me, but I still think it looks a bit odd. And honestly, his light attack strings aren't really all that good. I don't use them that much. But his heavy attack doesn't look that impressive, right? You're like, what is this? This doesn't look like that much. But if you actually freaking, I'm gonna have to, actually no, I'll just fight enemies. If you keep spamming this, it actually hits 2 or 3 times each time. So I'm using the impact one. It's actually really effective. All the more so because the last hit will continue even if you cancel. In fact, all the hits will, actually. See, I'm actually dashing away here and it's still doing it. So I started it and then I'm just dashing and it continues hitting them because it doesn't care. So I do this and it will do whatever I want. This is how I did that combo earlier, not a combat model, where I did a hack in the middle of it, because it doesn't care how you cancel it. So you can be doing anything. You can even, you can do whatever you want. So that's the animation, but he doesn't have to care about it. It just continues. So yeah, braces are strange, and a way to use this is when you've got an enemy and you've juggled them. Let's get a bigger one. Let's get me a biped. On you. You got an enemy and you juggle them. Hang on. Bloody will do something. Or you could just, in fact. See, I actually dodged out of that. That attack there was a counter that I had done this one, and I had dodged, so I'd done the perfect evade, and he got hit by it anyway because it continued. It didn't care. So his brace is kind of nuts. The other cool thing I like about the bracers is that the running attack for the bracers. Let's give me a small step. It also has this independent existence where where it doesn't care. But it does that at range. So you can, this is the sprinting attack. So you can just hammer people, whatever. Screw you guys. And you can also use this to swap weapons and bring out another attack. So you can overlay his weapons really well. One thing to watch out for is when you do this counter with the long sword, he's completely frozen until it ends, and that's dangerous. So you want to be careful of that. You don't want to get stuck doing the counter with the long sword. I don't use it much because it's so dangerous. This is more on hard and very hard where you can get killed really quickly. It's the only move that I know of that he has that you can't cancel very easily. So I would recommend not using this one very much. All the rest of the longsword stuff's really good though. The longsword. Keep pressing the wrong button. The longsword sprinting heavy can actually push enemies along in the air. This is a very easy combo once you get the hang of it. All you have to do is do this dash, and then as soon as he lands on the ground, so see how he's doing the roll? That's when you press the light attack. Do it fast enough, and you've got yourself a nice simple little juggle. Now the reason why this is useful is I'm going to stick the enemy on... I'm not going to die now, so that I put it on not stunned when I'm practicing, because enemies have a stunned effect that happens, and that's what allows 2B and A2 to do their QTEs, but he doesn't do that. That just gives him free hits, but it's kind of boring because they just lie on the ground going zzz, so screw that. I turn that off when I'm comboing, but I turn it back on sometimes. So we got this guy, right? Now if you do it right, hang on, it's not working. There, you can get it to hit twice. You've got to get the right distance. And this can actually be used to... like, you can actually follow them along, because it has an independent existence from him. So I'm actually, like, following them. And you can actually... whoops, if you do it when they're too low, all the hits will hit. This doesn't quite work. But if you time it right, you can actually hit them with it again. You gotta buffer it. Hang on. Screwing it up. Oh, I know. I'm canceling the move too early. It's easier if you swap to another weapon when you're trying to hit them. There you go. So you can hit him multiple times, but you can also just chase him down and do whatever you want. For example, what have I got? Yeah, this one equipped. You can. So that's a easy combo to do, because all you have to do is, and then takes a bit of timing to get the catch right, but another cool thing is that these weapons, the small swords and spears, their sprinting attacks start up instantly. See how quickly? So I'm going to press light attack now. He got hit instantly. So when you're comboing, you can air catch with them pretty easily, and that can be used as a setup for another launch really easily. And not only that, but they also throw out the weapons, so if you're a bit too far away, hang on. I went under him. It allows you to catch them that way, so you can do some funky things. For example, oh, I should explain that. Hang on. I want to explain this one because this one's really cool. Now, I've found out that you can launch into all of your throws. What you do is you cancel with an SD cancel. Right? So you land back on, when you SD cancel, you land back on the ground again, and then you throw. And then you can do that with every single throw in the game, including this one. However, when you do that, the second one doesn't hit, and you're like, what is that? That's kind of lame, because like he lands again before you can do anything. But what you do, and this is weird and tricky, is when you do this throw, the path it takes back to you is dependent on how your position changes. So if you change your position, see how it went further to the left? I'm going to do it just normally. I'm going to unlock from him. So just this big circle, right? But if I dash sideways to the left, it goes further to the left. If I dash to the right, it cuts the cross, right? Now, I found out that this works just by turning. So if I turn, it'll also cut across. And as you can see, if you turn to the left, it just completely vanishes. It's gone, because it's gone off screen. So what you do is you hold, and then you just look to the left. Sorry, right. He's looking right. And it'll hit them reliably. And then you can follow up with that with a tried to do something fancy there. So that's a pretty easy combo, and all you have to do for that is launch, and then before about here, you dash, and then you hold down the light attack button. So this is, in total, this is jump, light attack, evade, forwards, hold light attack, and then look right. So by that I mean I'm pressing the analog stick so that he looks this way, and that's it. Hey, that's pretty funny. Sorry. What the hell? Yeah. Sorry, that's so weird. Bam. So I like that because you can do pretty cool things with it. Now another way you can get them to do that is to dash away from them, and if you've dashed away from them, you're sprinting. This takes a bit of timing. It's a bit harder to do it when you don't do the look away, because you've got to make him look. This one's hard, but I like it. There. So I caught him with the sprinting attack of the short sword. Well, you don't need to do that, but that's useful for spear, and I'll show you. Spear is cool. Spear is cool. Spear is cool. Spear is a weapon which I initially was like, what the hell is this thing? But it actually turned out to be really good for combos, and the reason why is that the spear launch attack in the air, that bit, when they're high enough, the Helmbreaker doesn't knock them away, but it does keep them in the air for quite a long time. So you can cancel and do other stuff after you've hit them in the air. So that requires a little bit of timing to get right, because you have to, like, this took me a bit of practice. So yeah, Spear is pretty good, but the other reason is that it also has the instant startup, and its instant startup has like height. If you do the height version, like if you try to hit them with it as a height version, often the spear throw will miss. But if the spear throw does hit, it will actually stun them in the air for a really long time. See how it takes them a while to land? I should probably explain that. If you hit enemies with a small attack in the air, they sort of land pretty quickly. If you hit them with a big attack in the air, they take a bit longer to fall. Like they have a longer air hit stun, basically, which is really cool because it means you can set up bigger attacks. So what all of that means is, let's show you a simple little thing. So a simple little thing is simple. Oh wait, I need the spear. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. So what I'm doing here is I'm pressing SD so that I'm on the ground. Once I'm on the ground, I can do whatever I want. Right? And then I am backdashing, so I'm doing a backwards evade. So this is the full combo. Right? Hang on. Sorry. Side evade. Wrong one. So I'm catching him with the third heavy strike of the spear, if you recall. Third strike. And the way I'm doing that is I'm doing quite a lot of inputs, which is completely flashing out unnecessary. But there you go. And see how that first hit actually kept him in the air for a decent amount of time. So, because it did that, I can follow up with the sprinting heavy. And the way this works, the reason why this works, is that Nines has a really short dash distance before he ends up sprinting. If you just, like, if you hold the button, he has a decent length. But if you just tap it as lightly as you, like as short as you can, he's got a really quick length. And because of that, it means he can get to sprinting faster. And this is why I do not equip sprint. Sorry, it's why I don't equip evade boosters on him, because these sprinting attacks are such an important part of his fighting style that I want to be able to get into sprint as fast as physically possible. So, yeah. The other thing I like is, I mean, the fact is, this actually keeps him in the air so well that you can, once you get used to it, it takes a bit of timing, because otherwise you'll screw it up and just start doing normal attacks. Like, he doesn't care. Well, how was that? 5, 6? I've lost count. Like, you'd like, goddamn, he can just continuously do that. He can even like be moving around while he does it. He just doesn't give a damn. So, oh, and his sprint has actually got really high distance. His sprint. What the hell am I talking about? His launch has got really high distance with spear. There are ways that you can get up into the sky with 2B where you do a launch with short sword, and this don't have a short sword equipped, so I can't demonstrate. And then you do heavy in the air, and it will raise you up. Whereas he can do a lot of the basic jumps that you need just by doing a launch and then jump. Especially if you do because it just takes him so high. Especially the blacksmith. You remember that block with the blacksmith? You don't need to push the block to get out. All you have to do is walk over and do and then you'll be up on the second platform and you'll be out. I'll show that at the end of the vid. It's really, really useful. But yeah, I don't think he can't do the infinite jump like she can, but that's just useful for general movement using the spear. Another thing I want to talk about is a technique which looks hard but isn't, and that is to use your dash as you're coming down on the ground. Now, that looks like I just framed it, right? Doesn't it? Because I'm doing a... Hang on. And... But I'm not, right? What I'm doing is I'm pressing dash as he's on the way down, and the game buffers it, and then just starts dashing as soon as I hit the ground. It doesn't require me to press it with a precise input as I hit the ground. It's not at all restrictive. The only thing you need to keep in mind is that you need to use in order for this to work properly, you need to use your evade in the air during the combo. Otherwise it won't buffer it. It'll just, like, if I just try to do it without having used my evade, like, he ends up evading before he hits the ground. See, and that kind of screws it up. But of course, when you do an evade in the air, you can do a combo again. So you can. So once you've hit the ground, and you've done your evade on the ground, you can either do that one, which doesn't always work. Like, this is the evade straight into, like, press light attack during the evade animation. So that's the first hit of the heavy, but this needs them to be fairly low to the ground for that to work. And even then, sometimes it misses. Whereas the sprinting is so good that waiting a little bit, you can actually cross over and have the first hits still work. The only trick with that is that often as you can see, the throw will miss, so you've got to quickly cancel it into something else and do something else to them. Other useful things about the sprinting is that it counts as the first hit as his heavy string. Remembering that his heavy string looks like this. Sorry. That's his heavy string. So the second hit is the spear bit, right? He tosses the spear up. What I did was I did the sprinting, and then I did a dash light attack. And he's already in the second hit. This also works with this. So this is the second. It works with... It's pretty good with this, actually. It's actually really good with short sword. Really good with short sword, because... Might as well get both of these and mess things around a bit. Because the short sword, the second hit, he tosses it out. See? See, he's throwing it out. I'll just cancel it as soon as he tosses it. So if you do the sprinting, what happens is this weird funky thing where, because he's tossed his weapon, when he tries to pull it out, he pulls it back through them, and that hits multiple times. See how it hit them again as he was coming back? It was probably difficult to see. I'll try and get it to happen again. Yeah, he pulled it back to him and it went through them backwards. See, I'm deliberately missing with the sprinting so I can show you hitting them backwards. So that combo is intended in terms of having a linking effect from his sprinting heavy. So that is a really useful move just for general combat. If you're fighting little E's, they get stunned by this. So you can throw your sword through the little E's and then pull it back and whack them again, and then you're doing this, which is right there. When you're using the first hit of the string, it has a short startup, but that first bit where he knocks it down will also hit. When you're fighting aerial enemies, that first hit will knock them down to the ground. Let's get an aerial. Oops, I keep pausing. I meant to do something else. Let's fight an aerial enemy. Where's a little flyer? Small flyer. There we go. So let's see what happens with these guys. So I'll do this first hit. And I launch them. See how it knocks them down to the ground? So that's a downward strike, basically. But it can also be used as a combo. These guys float differently. Jeez, these guys are weird. I haven't actually tried to juggle these guys. There we go. Well, I don't think you can juggle them. I think they automatically land. That's interesting. Little fellas. Oh, hey! What the hell? Brought him down. Cool. I'm getting distracted here. I'm just going to kill this guy. Die! So, all of that requires button presses more than just mashing your light attack. But there is something you can do with the short sword's light attack that is really cool. And that is that when you're doing the first two hits, and then you're doing these, right? Remember the sprinting, how when I did the dash it brought it back? Well, that actually works with these. And what I did was an SD cancel there, and that caused I should explain. SD cancels are when you press self-destruct and then let it go, and then you do the next hit in your combo. So this is the first two hits of my light attack string. So I SD canceled and got it out faster, right? So third hit, right, to fourth hit. I should probably show it without him, no, guys. You can just see it on that hit. Third hit. What? It's a throw. Sorry. Right. See how there was a weird sort of where it appeared in two places at once? It sort of vanished and reappeared. That reappearance has its own. What that is when you continue the combo, he pulls the sword back, right? And what happens is when you SD cancel, it creates the sword. It vanishes the sword and recreates it. It's odd. So what that means is you can use that to get the whole out really quickly, which is really cool because you can use that as a simple little. And also that does tremendous damage. It doesn't look like it does, but if I keep doing it to this guy, it'll kill him really quickly. That didn't take that long at all. So, oh, and if you just want to kill them really quickly, this does so much damage because it hits them like 5 or 6 times. It'll tear them apart, and so does this one. If you can land that one. Basically the short sword hits are his DPS moves, and since you can easily hit them in midair with this, I don't actually use it that much in the whoops, that was a flyer. Whoopsie, wrong one. Doesn't work against flyers as well because they get knocked away, little bastards. But these little bipeds, a really good thing to do against them, the medium ones, is to launch them and then do, because it'll hit them multiple times, as you can see. And you can also come into the air and do it there. And the cool thing is that took 2. That was it. He was dead, right? I mean, you saw how many other times I could hit him. That did so much damage. I'm going to show you this by actually equipping his health bar so you can see the difference. So enemy data. So damage. I did over half his health. That was ridiculous. So I can't actually use this in the combos I'm making because I'm trying to do combos which kill them. That means I have to leave them at their, like I put them at level 86 since I'm 81, and I just combo them and then try to do a fancy thing with the last hit. So I can't use this move because this just kills them. They're dead. You can't really, any infinite combo you see with this move is completely unrealistic because they're already dead. He just does so much freaking damage with this move. It's ridiculous. I don't even know if they intended for that to happen, but you want to make it more ridiculous? I can make it more ridiculous. I'll show you how to make it even more ridiculous. You ready for this? Alright, you can do this twice, alright? You can do it twice by swapping your weapon and it will stay out, which is just stupid. Like, what the hell? Did they forget that he's not supposed to be a combat model or something? Did Platinum just go, hey, make him not good? And they were like, no, let's make him good. Oops, hang on. So you can have 2 of them out. And it's just like, okay, whatever. Sure. Whatever, Platinum. Just make, you know, someone completely overpowered. That's great. I love it. So, yeah, he's got some really cool stuff. Now, when it comes to his air combos, there's a few things I want to teach you guys because there's a few newbie things that, well, I don't want to say newbie, but there's a few things that when you're starting out can be a little bit difficult to understand. Now, when you do his basic combo, he'll miss with the Helmbreaker, right? This is because you need to pause a little bit before you do it. Hang on. Alternatively, you can jump. Or if you're high enough, it'll hit them, right? Or you can simply cancel this first one and then do another one, which is probably easier. So you just use that. The other thing about another weapon that does this is his, and I haven't actually figured out a way to get around that, is his bracers. I don't like his bracers in the air because they're a bit weird. I don't think his bracers were fully tested, or perhaps they're not designed for use against this particular enemy or something. But when you're fighting a medium biped, see how that missed? It's missing half the time, so I don't actually like it that much. Because I don't like that misses. So when I do use it in the air, I tend to weapon switch. When he weapon switches, he gets the full default combo of the move in the air. What I mean by that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's got 4 hits. But if I do something else and cancel first, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. 3. I'm getting it wrong. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So you've got 5 hits if you cancel it. 5. It's a bit difficult to cancel it because it tries to offset it, since you can offset everything. Now, you can actually offset his moves and do different things. So if you want to swap sides or something to make a cool combo or something, you can just swap sides like that. And of course, since the startup is quite fast, you got to be quicker about that, because I keep expecting the throw to hit. You've got to cancel into the really quickly into the launch. Otherwise you won't catch them, because that doesn't hold them up in the air as well as the spear one does. So what you can do, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he gets the full 5. So you can start off in the... Now previously I thought that you could only weapon switch once. And by that I mean, I'm going to weapon switch. I weapon switch again and nothing happens, he just falls to the ground. So I thought you could only do that once, but in fact it's once per jump cancel. Sorry, I don't want to jump first. Alright, so I will jump. Yeah. Actually it might be once per combo ender. I'll show you the one that made me realize this anyway, because I think I might have misunderstood it since I only did it with the longsword. When you're using the longsword, if you want to combo in the air with it, it's a bit difficult because the moves are slower, right? So here's your longsword. Right, and when you just go up, he does the first hit, right? But if you cancel into it, he's got these 2 hits. But again, the second one is a bit slow. What you can do is you can jump cancel to get that second hit out faster. And you can also SD cancel to do the same thing. So what I found was that if I then did an evade, hang on. I could do it again, right? And I could weapon switch after this, even though I just launched and weapon switched. The weapon I was actually using to do this was a spear, not the. I use this one because it does low damage. I don't know why, but it gets its full combo level light 6, heavy 3, which is the full combo for the spear at level 3. So I'm not going to upgrade this while I'm doing these combo videos, and you're going to see a lot of golden spear because it's a good weapon for comboing, because it can hit them more times. It does lower damage. So this is the first hit of the default launch and then you combo. So I could weapon switch again. I think that is because I did an ender with the longsword, which is the helm breaker. The cool thing about this as well is that if you jump cancel, you can get this out earlier and it won't knock them away, because normally this, if you just do the default one, it'll knock them flying before they hit the ground. But if you jump cancel, you can get them to hit earlier. I'm not actually jump canceling it, that's why it's not working. Duh. Me dumb. And then they've got a heavy stun in the air and you can do stuff. So if you're fast enough, I'm not fast, I'm being dumb. Oh my god. What am I doing? Not that one. I find this difficult to do. You can hit him with that. It's really hard. There you go. So you can hit him with that. That's just a fancy thing you can do if you feel like it. Like, this isn't really necessary. But yeah, other cool things that I think are probably important to know: the dash, evade, and then longsword in midair will continue if you weapon switch or jump. Hang on, but you've got to wait until the first strike and then you can continue. So you can do other stuff. So you can actually do other stuff while you're hitting them. And the This does not work with Spear. Spear is not able to overlap moves like this. If I try to cancel into something else, the Spear vanishes. So in general, whenever he does a move that has the weapon become independent from him, where the move is like the weapon is far enough away from him and doing its own little thing. For example, he can actually cancel after the spear has left him and see how the spear continues on. So if you're far enough away, you can do a combo where you sort of let the spear hit them. That kind of thing. So, but the rest of the spear stuff doesn't do that, unfortunately, including this one. It'll cancel as soon as you do anything, which is a bit of a bummer. But these are pretty good, because these let you cancel and do whatever you want. So, like, if you're in the middle of like a hectic situation, you can just do this and run away, which is kind of like such a jerky thing to do. Hey guys, so you can sort of poke at enemies this way, you know. Which I think is pretty funny. It doesn't work with the last one though. That cancels. It also doesn't work with his normal strings. Oh, and also the last hit of his normal light combo with longsword launches, which I use combined with his normal launch to get out a double launch. I got it wrong. So that's how I'm doing that. I'm doing, let's see, what's the button combination? I've got light attack on R1 and SD on square. And I basically press it by just sort of pressing them both at the same time with the light attack slightly like secondary, just because of how my fingers are set up. So I don't really have to think about it in terms of pressing one and then the other. I'm just sort of depressing both, and it just happens to work because of the distance of my thumb to press the square button and the distance of the top finger to press R1, which is why that works. So that is, let's see if I can think this out because it's muscle memory now. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing S light jump light attack, SD light attack. Yeah. SD light attack, SD light attack, SD light attack. That's the one. Take note that if you go too high into the air, you can screw it up a bit because you'll come down and you'll have canceled. Because what's happening is the first hit of your, this is a character wide sort of mechanic. The first hit of your launcher always counts as an air combo for 9S for when you hit the ground again, I should say. So actually, I don't know if this works for 2B. This might not. This might be him. I should test that before I say that. Ignore what I said about having system wide. I'm not sure. It may or may not be. Someone should tell me if it is true. So that's why this is happening, where you do the launcher and he immediately does the helm breaker. It's because his default combo midair is the longsword strike like that, and then the helm breaker. So what you can do is you can actually get this out instantly by pressing jump light attack, and that will smack enemies down. I'm pressing light. What I did there was I was screwing it up. I was pressing jump light attack jump, which doesn't work. So yeah, that's a pretty useful trick, because you could just, you know, screw you. I don't feel like dealing with you. Go away. Especially because the longsword ignores their attacks. Hey me. Because they have oops, sorry. They have hit stun immunity against small swords and some of the, I think all of the bracer attacks. These medium enemies. So when I'm using the cruel, and I try to hit them and they're ignoring it, see? And you gotta dodge. But if you're using the longsword, Nah, they don't get to do that. Nah, they get to do it a bit, but the next hit will stun them. So you could just like smack around. You gotta watch out that your move isn't gonna be too slow. But that also means you can just walk up and launch them. I mean, that is actually a pretty safe way of launching these guys, is just to walk up and do launch dash, which is we jump, light attack, and then evade. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, whatever. Because they can jump away from it, you see. This guy isn't doing it right now. Yeah, there, see. But in that case, you've jumped and you've just sort of reset it. It's become a neutral position. And then if it works, you can do that. So I like to do that when I'm fighting these guys. Or you can do it again. Like you can also just, oh, okay, that worked. And launch them again. Because again, they don't really reliably, or you can swap weapons. Another cool thing about him is that when you, this is difficult to explain, but when you do his helm breakers, if you hold the button, he automatically transitions to his throw. It's most notable with the spear. It's a good way to get out a throw. Swapping weapons around a lot. In order for this to work, you can't mash it. You've got to hold it. If you're trying to mash it, it doesn't happen. So you can combine this with pod slow. That was too slow. Sorry. Hang on. I don't use pod slow, so. Ah, my god, that's too slow. Maybe just a dash of it, maybe. Oh, it's too slow. Wow, I haven't used pod slow much. Well, someone who knows how to use it could probably use it better than I can. Yeah, there we go. To easily get that out as a combo. Of course, you could always just bloody well. Yeah. Sometimes the spear will work as a launch, sometimes it won't, and I'm not sure why. I think what happens is if they get stuck in a recovery animation enough, the spear doesn't work. And this also happens with this. If they get stuck in a recovery animation with this ground stun, they'll ignore it. So you got to watch that. You got to make sure they're not on one of those animations, otherwise it can get you hit, which is a bit of a pain. Another cool thing is that you can just jump through attacks. You jump as iframes, and that means you can jump launch through attacks. So you don't even have to perfect evade. 2B can do this too, I'm pretty sure. Regarding hacking in combat, to hack you have to be on the ground. So that's why I say SD is important, because you want to be able to get back to the ground quickly, and when you're in the air, SD allows you to... When you're in the air, SD drops you down to the ground. Like it cancels your upward momentum. If you want to get back to the ground quicker, you can do it twice, or you can hold it. I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure if just doing it once and then letting yourself drop is faster. I know for sure that the fastest way to get down to the ground is to do a helm breaker, and then cancel it into something else. That's a just frame sort of thing, though. To do... Yeah. So I'm on the ground there. But that'll also offset. So let's see, the spear combo is 3 hits, so yeah, I'm up to the last hit of the, because the spear light, I'll explain that in more detail. Spear light is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when I did that, these 3 hits counted because I offset when I used the SD at the bottom. I saved the position in the combo and it transitioned to a grounded combo. This works with all of them. I haven't done it with this one, so this might be difficult. Hang on. You know what? I might. Yeah. So that was the last hit of... No, actually, that was the light attack. The cool thing about using the SD offset is that it won't start a heavy string. So that was the third hit of the light attack. So you can actually transition into... Oh, this is hard. I haven't practiced this one very much. And he comes down much faster than I expect. I'm not very good at it. Yeah, so back into the launch. And what I did was I did the SD to light attack twice. Whenever I'm doing a move where because it doesn't show the SD the amount of times I press it. If I'm doing a full SD cancel, it sort of seems to not be able to handle expressing that. So it's not showing it as many times as I'm pressing it, even though I'm going through the whole thing. So generally speaking, if you see it flash up but I've gone multiple steps, it's because I'm pressing SD light attack, SD light attack. So when you watch the combo video, you'll see me use this all the time because I love this thing. I love SD cancel. So you'll see a shit ton of times when the SD will only appear on the screen once or twice, but I've actually gone 4 or 5 steps. That's just because I'm doing it that damn fast. Like, listen. So yeah. That's how that works. Oh, I just lost my controller. What other cool things were there that I wanted to talk about? When it comes to doing just basic combos with him, what's going on? I find that it is easier to use the spear because it's just really good. I don't like the light attacks with the spear because the first hit has startup. I don't really remember when I was talking about 2B, I said that the startup, it doesn't have startup, but it does. So I actually prefer to be sprinting with him, and I start my combos with sprinting. And that is because I said that the sprinting attack can transition straight into the second hit of your heavy string. It can also transition into the second hit of your light attack. And the second hit of the spear's light attack hits twice, as you can see. Watch the hit effect on his right leg. Left leg, sorry. Left leg. His left. See how I hit twice? And you can hear a double whack if you can hear sound. Watch the hit effect on his right leg. No, you can't. Damn, sound isn't working. I need to fix that. But yeah, I'll just launch him into it. See? So it's useful for if you want to transition into spear stuff. Another thing I want to talk about is when you're using his slower attacks and you're trying to do the thing where you catch them. I'll give an example by equipping this one, which is his finished blast. This is his explosive spear, right? When you are like, these are slower weapons, and that means the animations are slower. And that hit, you can see it landed in between. What you want to do is you want to very quickly SD cancel to the next step. And if you want to like sort of guarantee getting it, what you do is so you can speed up his attacks by SD cancelling in between them and SDing as soon as the first attack hits. This is most noticeable with the slow ass bracers because they... Oh, this is also useful for the large sword, of course. I think I've got one equipped right now. So it's not just for cancelling whole steps, it can also make your combos more effective because it cancels his recovery. One thing I particularly find really funny is when you have two longswords equipped. You can weapon swap. And just keep doing the first hit. You can actually keep them in the air with it. Come on. Meh. Also note that if you offset for too long, it will turn into a true cancel. So if you you won't get the that's the second hit of the light attack string. He uses the you look at to work out for the longsword the difference between the first and the second. You want to look at his hands, Ninus's hands. He's using his right hand and then he's using his left hand. Whoops. Right hand, left hand, right? Right hand, left hand. So if I do the launch and then cancel into, he's using the left hand, so he's cancelled to the second hit. And if you're using SD cancel to do that out of this launch, you've got to do it really early, like at the earliest possible time, because that way he's automatically on the ground. And then he'll cancel straight from, because all of the landing animations can be cancelled into attacks immediately. You don't have to wait any of them out. That includes the one where you're sprinting. You don't have to cancel them in any way. It's not Dark Souls with the pivot problem where when you're pivoting, even his freaking this, he doesn't care. None of these characters care. The Platinum don't do that. They don't force you to go through useless animations just because they want them to be seen. You can skip the whole bunch. A cool thing that you can do that I find very easy to do is to, it's probably easier with a different weapon set up, is to, this is just a useful starting combo with pretty much anything, is using Cruel Blood Oath, like a longsword. You do the launch into the, I've shown this before, and then you do pod fling. You don't have to do the SD cancel to hit them, it's just easier. If you want to guarantee it, your best bet is to use small sword, a fast one. Again, use the faster ones for him because they're easier for when you're new. If you want to use the slower ones for combos, you've got to get used to SD cancelling your hits. Otherwise, it doesn't work as well. So, and if you do this right, I don't know why this screws up sometimes. You get another launch, so you can serve your launch that way, which is pretty useful. I think I explained last time how I'm getting out multiple combos, and that is because what you do is you cancel the Helmbreaker into another with, say, a jump or something. And that way you can get it out multiple times. So that's just basic sort of, just killing enemies things. What's another thing? Oh, if you are countering an enemy, you can swap weapons and do that other weapons counter. Like during the perfect evade animation. So I have the long sword equipped. I'm going to do the short sword counter after I dodge. Perfect evade, weapon switch, short sword counter. So you don't have to care too much about which weapon you have equipped. If you've got the wrong weapon equipped and you happen to do a perfect evade, just weapon swap. I think this works for A2 and 2E as well. I'm pretty sure about that one. But I know for certain that it works for him. The other thing to note is that you can, in the middle of the short sword, splashy thing, you can swap weapons and do jump light to launch them and other cool stuff like that. Like, there's he's got a lot of stuff that he can do in this game. And, for example, a good example being, hacking. You can SD cancel the ending of his hack. I've said some of these in the previous video, but because this is a 9S focus one, I want to make sure I get them all out. And because of that, you can stick it in situations that you normally couldn't. You can definitely get it hit mid-air. So you can use that as a stylish finisher if you want. You can... they're pressing the wrong button. That's why this isn't working. So I hit it there. Pressing the wrong button. It counts as a what? No, that must have been because of the short sword hitting them. I was gonna say, I didn't know that it actually kept them up in the air. Let me test that. No, it doesn't. Okay, that must have been because the long sword was hitting them. There we go. Phew! Thought I missed something there. But yeah, a very easy way to start a hack on something is just to... And also, this is the hack trick where you SD cancel it or dash cancel it and then do another one is definitely faster than holding the button. In combat, anyway. Especially because you can cancel into a dodge and your hack still goes through once he's thrown out his arm. Because each hack does a set amount of... Each hack animation, I should say, does a set amount of... See, that did half. And then after a while, it starts to fall off. So... See, that was quicker. That was way quicker. So, SD cancelling his hacks are why I say... And also, the other SD cancels that I'm using for are why I say you've really got to change your SD button to something easy to use because it makes him about 1,000,000 times more effective. He just becomes ridiculous. And it changes his moveset, it changes all the kinds of things he can do. It's just silly. A very cool thing you can do with the combat bracers is... Oh, I want to talk about bare fists. Bare fists are weird. I don't know how to describe them. Bare fists have got this weird sort of moveset that is very, very odd. So, bare fists. Right. Bare fists have a slowish sort of moveset, but you can cancel and it'll hit multiple times. And his sprinting, it hits several times. Every hit stop is an attack. But it doesn't seem to stun him that well. It's a bit weird. I haven't figured out any combos with it yet. I'm sure I will eventually, but you can see it hits above him. So you can sort of do the air ground, it'll hit above him. And he's got a... If you do the sprinting attack, his normal string with this is kind of slow. He just does a weird little through there. But his dash is faster? What did he do? Whoa! I just can't... Yeah. He can cancel the first hit. I didn't know that. So that's his normal one where he's using his hands there. But when he's doing the it's faster, which is odd. So fast that he can cancel the first hit. The last hit is still pretty slow though. But yeah, it's a strange moveset. And another thing I found that is really weird is that one of the moves when you SD cancel it midair, I think it's this one. It will hit them again. Yeah, if you SD cancel this after it hits them, it'll hit them again as a sort of phantom hit, and it's a bit confusing. It's difficult to land midair, so I'm not really sure how to show you. I might be able to try and stick it in a combo somewhere. But yeah, he's pretty cool. All of this is infinitely more effectively if you use the wire ability, of course, because like it allows you to do all kinds of stuff. But I'm just talking, and also if you use pod slow and all that stuff. But I'm just talking about things that he can do without using his pod at all, without using pod, without even using hack really, and especially without using sorry, I don't know what caused that. I hope that didn't come through on the stream. I just had a weird static effect, and without using all the stuff that people think you need to use with 9S to do anything. He doesn't need it. He's pretty good. He's got a lot of range and keep away, and he's got a lot of power. His bare hand is a bit crappy, and he doesn't need to be pressing light attack, using his light attack default string pretty much not much at all unless you're using short sword and long sword really, and even then it's not really all that effective. It's better to use the other attacks. So in particular, the instant startup of his speedy swords is really useful because it will cut through gunshots really easily. Let's get rid of this guy. Alright, so I'm gonna get a gun version out. Oh, I need to make him actually attack. Hello. No. Don't be so mean. Oops. Maybe this is the wrong guy. Yeah, this is definitely not the kind of guy I want to shoot this on. I was thinking more of those flying dudes who do the spins. Alright, sure, whatever. Look, just go away, alright? Oh wait, he's infinite health. Damn it. That was a waste of a combo! Oh, he can attack. I didn't know that. Alright. There's those spinny enemies. They spin around. What are they? Are they the multi-levels? They have a gun? Oh, I don't think that's them. I'll just stick a bunch of flowers in, that'll do. No. It's that sounds about right. Yeah. When they're not doing that crap, they shoot. Right, so they have an attack where they shoot multiple times. If they decide to do it. I don't know why it's sound bugged out. Shoot me, damn you. There. So, those grey ones can be... So, it's pretty easy for him to cut through those with his... with his attacks. So yeah, for enemies that aren't launchable, and don't move up and down and stuff like that, just doing sort of default combos are pretty useful. Sorry. Because it does a lot of damage really fast. And a cool thing is when you're fighting the Goliaths, I don't know if these are the ones that do what I want. Yeah, when you're fighting Goliaths, you can repeatedly do that one just to get some damage in. So yeah, I mean that was an equal level enemy, and you know the fact that Tubi can't do that. I want to point out she can launch, but after she has launched with her short sword multi-hit launch, she only gets one more evade in the air, and then she'll launch again. Once that has happened, she can be hit. She can't evade again. So he can infinite evade with his long short sword spam. She can't. It's because he stays on the ground. It's because he's counted as grounded the whole time. So that is a thing that he could do with his short sword that she can't. I mean, he can't launch with his short sword, but he can launch with his bracers. So, and he stays on the ground again. So it makes it harder to get up into the combo. You've got to use your pod fling or something else or catch them somehow. But on the ground, he's actually really good at dealing with advanced like constant attacks because he's got so much range. He's got so much AOE and crowd control, and this is using his heavy attacks. And he's got really good sprinting attacks that allows him to get around the area and like mix up and mess with enemies and stuff like that. So he's a really good big battle movement based character. He's a very good everything's going to shit, and you don't even need to use hacking to have that happen. Let's have some interesting stuff happen. See something kind of interesting. I don't know. Give them whatever they want. Oops. Got 20, have I? Yeah, woo, yeah. Whoops. I'm getting hit. Not doing much damage though. Eh. This might be too many. I don't think they normally throw that many enemies at you. Ugh. Let's see if I can use a better weapon. I think I would probably use this in this instance. Yeah. There we go. And you can also use these moves to group them up. For example, I've got all these guys sort of spaced out, right? So I'll group them all up. You gotta watch out for the longsword one though, because it'll... And then I hack one of them. And because I've got them all together, I'll get them all at once. I don't have to do lots and lots of hacks. Boom. I don't have much practice of this. Ooh, and these weapons aren't that strong. Nah. That was a bad demonstration. Because I suck. You get that here. He's got a lot of speed and range. And he's got a lot of stunning capability. Anyway, so... For 2B, her spear's pretty good, and her... I don't know, actually. I haven't played her for so long. I'm not really sure what to say about 2B. Just... I think longsword and short sword are pretty good together. Short sword, longsword. They're a decent combo. What did I use? I used spear bracers when I got it. A lot, because bracers are pretty good. They got a long air combo. Like I put bracers on the front. Spear I used for its heavy attacks, sprinting heavy attacks, which are different. I don't know. It's been too long, man. I can't remember. It's been like a month since I played 2v. A month and a half. Someone else will have to get, I'm sure if you look for advice you'll get tons of advice for 2B. She's a really powerful character, so whatever you choose to use, it'll work. But yeah, let's see if I fight a few more things, see if I can get some better examples now. His damage isn't the highest, but he's most effective with those explosive weapons. Plus, they're like same level as me, so that's why that always happens. And I don't have any chips equipped. Hey, let's equip my actual chip freaking 9S ability thing, and let's do that fight again with some actual chips equipped. Yeah. Oh, I'm not fighting guns anymore. Ah, whatever. Oh shit! Whoops. Hehehe. Ah. The other thing is when he has shockwaves equipped, all of his fast attacks end up becoming sort of like his air attacks become basically shockwave producers of great speed and stuff like that. So he's pretty cool. I don't actually think I have any damage chips equipped though. Whoops. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. If I had damage chips equipped, it'd be a lot faster. But yeah, like 9S is pretty cool. He still needs to be built for damage if you're trying to kill things fast like 2B. But you don't have to equip him for hack unless you really feel like it, and you don't have to use hack unless you want to. So I wouldn't be able to beat that many enemies without getting hit with 2B right now anyway. So like I'm not that good at this game. Not against multiple enemies. I think his best weapons are probably the finish blast ones with small sword, because like you gotta upgrade it to that, because it does that blast, it'll do it at the end of his combo and you can get to it quickly. I also think he's pretty good with the large sword, the fast large swords, because of the combo that I talked about, the launching one. That's pretty good against single targets and stuff like that, and also because you can get out his that pretty quickly and stuff like that. And this is just a good combo to use in general. And he's pretty good with spears, because you know spear throw is great, and also he doesn't have to use the spear throw to get a bunch of stuff, so because you can use that instead, and that'll hit a bunch of enemies at once, and that has an instant startup and all that stuff. So he's fairly decent. This has also got decent damage in the air. So yeah, he's a pretty good character. If you want to play him combat wise, he's just different. You've got to use a lot more movement. You've got to move around a lot more, and it's a bit more difficult to get in one place. But in return, he has the tools to use his movement to control space around him and to manipulate the enemies into what he wants. So he's basically a sort of rangedy wizardy character with his swords and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of room for much better play out of what I see of 9S on YouTube, which is why I'm making this combo video. I'm trying to make some pretty cool combos. So yeah, it's just taking me a long time because I'm like 36 now, so my muscle memory is not the best, and it takes me a long time to learn a combo. I don't really actually get it until several days have passed and it's actually sunk in, and then I can finally pull the damn thing off. So I don't have a lot of time to play it because I'm 36. I gotta work. So yes, exactly, it's a conundrum, 9S. I completely agree with you. Yes, no, I can't do it like that. I'm sorry, that just wouldn't work. Yes, no. Yeah, we'll have to think of a solution together, buddy. I'm sure we can handle it. And I'm going to head off now, because I think I've been talking for a long time. So I hope you guys got a bit of worth out of this. And look forward to that video that I'll be making. See you guys around.